Mix in some vodka and call it a podcast. From the Mac of All Trades studio in Fairport and driven by Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, it's Billified, the Bill Moran Podcast.
Hello and welcome. Thanks for getting your pot on. Thanks for telling a friend. That's how we spread the word about the pirate ship. Leave it to coming here today with the soldier and with Dan. And what?
How about we were talking about?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. I had a headache. I have a lot of stuff going on. Things I really can't even get into behind a microphone.
That's saying something.
Although it would be very, very, very entertaining if I did.
If you had a radio show, would you be able to talk?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do this. I just can't at this point.
Uh-huh.
But someday maybe. But either way, so I have all that going on, and I come. Mark comes in here and he sits down, and Mark,
Be careful.
I snapped a little at Mark over something. I didn't mean to, but I caught myself.
You did?
Well, I thought it was a little harsh.
I didn't think so.
All right, as long as you didn't think
I
so.
didn't think- I
I
didn't think
thought
anything of it.
because I thought I could take your foot off the gas, Moran. You're being an asshole. But then somebody goes floating by the studio, and I look up and we make eye contact. Our eyes meet. So I give a wave because I recognize who it is, and I will not tell you, dear listener, who it was, because you don't need to know to still enjoy this story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They wouldn't know him anyway.
But if you don't darn well, he listens to this, so he's going to hear it.
No.
Who gives a shit?
That's true.
What are you going to do? Sue me for not saying your name? I mean, the world.
Yeah, I know that's me you're making fun of.
Well, I made fun of him inside an arena
Yeah, I remember.
with him there.
Yeah, on my behalf.
Yes, I did.
I remember.
Yes, I did. But what was very entertaining was that as the person walks by, Mark said, "Was that so and so?" And I said, "Yes." And Mark, can I say?
I guess.
Well, what did you say?
Hang on. Do you really want to do this?
I know.
I don't. What do you mean?
know.
Do I really want to do it? Yes.
I
Well,
gotta be careful.
just that you have
hooked. I've hooked up. Is that a good word?
with somebody he knows. But I didn't know while they were.
No, it's biblically.
Yes, well, while they were, I guess, together. I don't know. And then you say that you know someone in the family, and you used to. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
But it was
I used
very,
to date the guy's sister.
it was very, very entertaining.
I used to date the guy's wife.
while she had that title.
I think she still does.
Whatever.
The sister was single.
I know nothing.
And I was too.
I know nothing. I know nothing. I don't care. It was just a little bit of.
It's a small world after all.
No, it was. Well, here's why. Like, so today,
It's called Rochester Degrees of Separation.
yes,
Everybody, like when I go back home and tell people that Rochester's just a big Silver Creek, they're like, no kidding. I go, yeah, everybody knows everybody and everything.
Well, I'll tell you what, though. Right now, where we sit is one of the hottest spots in the entire country, according to different. My brother sent me the article.
Like earthquakes.
Oh, right here,
No.
right here in
Yeah,
Fairport. Oh,
just in terms of
absolutely.
houses selling. 81% of the houses sold in Fairport sold above asking, which
This is the safest place in the area to be.
well, they're
that's
just
why.
saying, but here, and I think there was some other place, like maybe somewhere in California, that was like considered the two hottest spots right now. Like it's one of the greatest, and it's just this little. And I'll tell you what, we're coming up onto the season that you want to be here.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
I can't wait the Fairport Music Fest.
Are you going to go this year?
Yeah, why not?
Are you going to go?
I have a bathroom over here now.
Yes, you do.
Don't forget
Yes.
Steel Rail Festival too. It's going to be on a Saturday this year in July.
Oh shit.
So that's going to be awesome.
Oh shit.
What?
Oh shit.
Why?
I got asked to be on the board, I think.
Oh, really?
I think.
Bro, I could take your place.
No, I don't think I ever responded.
There's going to be some changes around here.
I think I feel terrible. I feel terrible. I'm just like slowly digging myself out of messages and the things.
I know. I couldn't even get you to text me back.
I know. Well, I was holding off because I wanted to give you that. Here's the thing.
I wasn't mad.
No. It's not.
We can
It
talk-
had nothing to do with
We
that.
can talk about this.
Fine, go ahead. Go
No, we can talk about it.
talk about it.
I would rather go on another night
Then on Monday.
than on Mondays. So just
Yes.
too much personality on Mondays. I think they'd rather hear other
Now,
people.
I was told you said too much ego on Monday.
I never said that.
I know.
Whoa.
Don't even do.
Whoa.
Do not open that door.
Whoa.
Do not open that door.
I love having Mark. I
All
love
right.
doing shows with
All
Mark.
right, but listen.
But I'll do a show with anybody.
We have an
on this
idea.
Show.
I
What?
think there's an idea
What?
that us three do a Saturday together.
I
said that.
would be open to that, but then it'd have to be a little timestamp because here's why. Somebody loves Tuesday, but they can't always do every Tuesday,
Yes.
and they like being in here and
Well,
just.
what else has he got going on?
How the fuck do I know? I don't know.
Is he stuck at the airport
Yes.
picking people up?
I don't know.
Is that his
It's a
normal
flight
gig?
pattern.
No, he's making his eggs. Leave him alone.
He sold 4 dozen of those things for $20.
They were $20. Who
I
the
know.
fuck is paying
Well,
$20
because he's
for
basing
eggs?
that on something he saw at Wegmans where it was less eggs and more money.
He's not.
Wait,
Deviled eggs.
I'm lost on the eggs.
I'll
thing.
give you the whole thing. Hang on. We're all over.
Yeah, we're all over
this.
the place. We're an iPod shuffle of.
So hang on. So Mark would like to move off Monday because he felt like there's a lot of personality, and there was Laura and Matt and me and
Kevin.
Kevin and Kevin was
and only so much food.
Kevin was just throwing in stuff, and the rest of us were a little loud. And I looked over, and I could tell you were sort of out of the conversation, and I felt a little bad. I tried to
It's
bring
okay.
you into the
I know.
conversation.
When I went towards the end, I did when we
Yes.
started doing the music thing.
So
I wasn't mad. I was like thinking to myself,
yes.
there's too much personality, and Laura likes to
Yes,
come in.
But Laura can't come in all the time.
I know,
and
but
I'm-
so
I was thinking like keep you on Monday, but you don't have
it's
to.
it's up to you. This
All
is like I said, this is your show.
These are the meetings that you have off the mics,
Right.
but that's okay. It's better that we do it this way. I think it's more interesting. It peels back the
Yes,
curtain
it
a little
does. I love these.
bit. Yeah, isn't it?
I love it.
No, seriously, I'm with you. I always liked it.
We
too.
always used to like say like the bit was actually talking about the bit.
Right, right.
So Mark wants to move off. Now, Mark texted me, but here's the problem. I was going to Kennebunk, Maine this past weekend because my dad entered an assisted living center there.
Oh,
My brother lives in Kennebunk.
He's named Mike Muley.
Kennebunk is is a couple hours from here. It's about 8 hours. But thanks to Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, we're on Sunday. I will be doing a live podcast from their Cars and Coffee. If you do not have to be there, I think we're going to go at 9 or 10 in the morning. So don't.
I'll be there.
sweat it.
I got church.
You want to come out to Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram?
I got nothing going on Sundays.
Okay, great. Okay, all right, fine. So we're going to go out there. But I have been driving a fully electric Dodge Charger,
Woogie,
which
woogie, woogie.
I freaking love. But I had try finding different chargers and finding the fast chargers. There's apps and things, but I might have goofed up on some stuff, so it took a little longer than that.
They sent you an actual like charger for a phone.
No.
Oh, okay.
It took me a little longer to,
All right.
to find these fast chargers, and some were just Tesla, and they didn't indicate that, and so there was all kinds of stuff. But anyway, so that's why I didn't respond to you. 'Cause
That's okay.
I was driving there, and then when I got there, I took my 15-year-old son, and there were times I said to him, "Listen, man, I know you're not going to really dig this, but I think you will in the end. Headphones, phones, everything. We're just leaving it in the car, and we're going to be in the moment with Grandpa." And it was great. It was that stuff was great. Stressful coming back because it's me.
Jameson, this is what life was like in the 90s.
A lot of fucks as I'm driving around trying to find chargers that don't work or do work. There's no indication that they're no longer work, whatever. So a lot of fucks, but it all worked out fantastically well. But that's why I didn't get back to you.
Okay. You don't have to explain.
No, I do have to explain. I
No.
want you to know. I want you to know
No,
because I
You're busy.
have been accused, and rightfully so, I say that with a lot of love, of not getting back. And it was Danny and Kevin who really pointed it out to me that I don't really respond.
I
and
sent
I
him a
thought-
text earlier today. I didn't hear back from him. It's okay. I'm used to it.
Okay.
Yeah,
you-
seriously.
Oh shit.
I did.
Well, I'll explain that too. Let me explain.
Okay,
that.
I don't
I'm
wanna
gonna-
get- I don't wanna get ahead
no,
of you.
I'm going to explain
Okay.
everything. So I normally don't. So I've been trying to get back to people, but now today I had something going on. I had the phone on Do Not Disturb, and it may still be on Do Not Disturb. So I didn't. What was the text? Because I would normally, because if it's anybody involving the podcast, I try to get back to them within an hour.
It doesn't say, I have a Droid, so who knows? But it doesn't tell you everything an iPhone does.
No.
But
Well, no.
a listener of the podcast, like
yes. Oh wait, no, I did see that.
Okay.
I didn't respond to it.
Okay.
Because immediately after that, I get a text from the guy that Kevin's on jury duty.
Yeah.
A listener to the podcast sees Kevin,
they
tells
were
Dan.
they were in the same jury box.
Yeah.
Right. And then they're sending me jokes about how they got out of jury duty. I don't know if I want to go into details on those. They were
silly. But
silly. Yeah, they were silly. I get that's one word to put
I don't think they did it.
No, I don't think they did it. I think they got out of it just for whatever.
Yeah.
But they joked about the ways you could get out of jury duty.
So that's why I didn't respond, because Kevin wrote me and I said, I heard you're at jury duty. And he goes, damn Barillo tells everybody. And I'm like, so he had to introduce himself to that guy, or the guy did to him.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, the guy tipped me off that Kevin was in jury duty.
Okay. All right. So
but that's power. That's the power of the podcast.
That
Billy.
is the power of the podcast. And
the listener texts me first.
Yes.
Kevin didn't text me. The listener texted me.
It's true. So that's why I didn't get back to you. So my dad's up there. He does not like it. He doesn't like it. He keeps calling it an institution. He has an. I'm
sure he's got a lot of words for it. He's a linguist.
He's got a nice apartment. It's really nice. And I said to him, let's hang some pictures and stuff. No, I don't want to do anything until all my furniture gets here. And I'm letting my brother kind of handle talking to him about, because he thinks it's coming next week. And it's going to require us going back down to Jersey, packing up the truck and moving everything. And nobody can really do that until almost July. So we're not. Anyway. So, but today, my brother was out of town, so it was a good time for my son and I to go up and see him. And just as my dad's getting acclimated to the place and, kind of figuring things out, and he's been going to the gym, and he has Parkinson's, but I'll tell you, like if you want to talk about how do you deal with these kinds of things that later in life, diet and exercise is so important, because he said to me, I can't believe how fast this has progressed. And I said, I disagree. It's been nearly 5 years that you've had it, maybe less, but because he eats so clean, like it's just salad and things and fresh fruits and that, and he worked out every day on a rowing machine and things. So we go to the gym, and that was kind of his social life. My brother and I always joke that he's the annoying guy at the gym. But
is he like the guy for the Progressive commercials? Dad, but in the gym.
Yes, but he kept his body going. Now with the stress, I think, of moving it's been bothering him more. So there were some moments and stuff for him when we were up there, but all in all, not bad. And the day he actually went to the gym, better than the day he didn't go to the gym in terms of movement and things. Today, before I come here, I have a meeting at 5. I'm on my way, and I go, I'm going to call my father. I have a funny story to tell. So I call him, and then I go, how are you? He goes, you heard? And I went, what? Oh, you didn't hear? I go, no. I said, what happened? So when we were up there, we went to a Dunkin' Donuts, and it's one of those shared buildings where it's like, you ever see like Taco Bell and KFC in the same building?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is Dunkin' Donuts and Subway. My son decides he doesn't want the Dunkin' Donuts sandwich that I'm getting. He wants to get over to Subway. So I give him money and go, just because Grandpa, I'm going to pay. I'm like, I'm not involving Grandpa in Subway. You go take care of Subway. If you don't want this, I don't want you just staring at food or throwing something away. Go get what you want. So he goes over there, comes back and eats with us at Dunkin' Donuts. My father decides today, he went to the gym. He's going to figure out how to get in that Subway because he can't find the entrance, the door. He can't figure out how to go in. Okay. He's got a cane now. He's walking slow. Oh, I don't know what happened. He's like, I'm all over the place. There's a ramp. I'm trying to figure it out. I go down, and next thing I know, I'm stepping off into the drive-through lane and falls. And I go, what? He's like, yeah. And the guy who was coming out of the lane, he had to just stop his car, and he had to practically pick me up off the ground because I couldn't get up. And I go, he goes, but I found the entrance to Subway. I got in there, and I sat down and calmed myself down and came back. And I'm like, oh my God, like this is what you worry about.
Yeah.
So I said, how's your face? And he goes, no, Faye said nothing. I said, because the worry is you hit your chin, you break your jaw, your teeth get shattered, whatever the fuck. So that was stressing me out.
And the hip too.
And the hip. And that was bothering me. But no, he said he went down on his hands and he just a little scraped up. And I go, please watch it for any kind of infection. I go, peroxide. I don't think I have any. I go, you're in an assisted living center. They've got everything you need. Just tell somebody, like, hey, man, just pour. I said, only because you just don't even want any kind of infection, because at your age, who the fuck knows what it could turn into?
Anything could kill you.
That's all I'm saying. And then Mark came in here and we look out the window and my whole mood changed. All thanks to that.
Yeah, it's Tony Robbins teaches.
All
It's
right.
called changing your state.
I'm glad I could help.
See, you did.
I'm
That
glad.
was the greatest thing.
And to think, if I was here yesterday, this would have never happened.
Exactly. We would have never had the story. I
Right.
wouldn't have known. I love knowing the seedy, dirty details. It's amazing.
Yeah, we just did like a 20-minute Netflix doc
Sorry.
on the backstory of everything we know about this particular situation.
Well, I thought we tiptoed.
No, I'm talking about the off-air stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we tiptoed
Oh,
here.
no, yeah. No, the
Other
off-air
stuff, man. People would love to hear that.
Yes, I
yeah.
know, but you're right. It's somebody's life and family and things like that.
Yes.
And somebody else told a story into one of these podcast microphones that we own, and it's so nice to have that. And I got calls from people asking for it to be taken down because it was about something this person experienced, and then decided that it wasn't the right experience for them, and talked about how it really changed them and what they did to get out of a situation. And the people who, again, no names mentioned, they were out of their mind. Like out of their mind. I'm getting calls from.
But you never mentioned any names. It could have been anybody.
I know. But yes. But see, that's where I always go, look, you dirty motherfuckers. If the story doesn't say your name, why are you standing up and screaming, I know it's me? You know what I mean?
You're admitting it.
I have told a story on the radio where I had 3 people come to me and go, man, why you got to tell that story about me? That's not a lie. So I go, and that has always stuck in my head. I go, wait a second, you dirty, guilty motherfuckers, drop the guilt. It's over. You did what you did, and nothing's it. It's not affecting you today. Why are we burning calories trying to run around in a circle and do that? Yes, apparently at one point you might have done something a little scummy, asshole-ish, whatever. We all have. We're human beings. That's fine. But somebody else used it, and I actually thought the way the story was told, it was very empowering. Apparently not.
Well, that story involving our friend.
Yes.
The fact that
my point, I wouldn't want to ruin families.
Right, of course not. This was like 6 years ago. The fact that this still is becoming a thing that bothers you when no names were named and they had to go to the lengths they had to go to get to you.
Oh, you know that.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Yeah, I told you.
That tells me that there's a bigger issue at hand.
Of course
a
there
much
is.
bigger issue.
Yes.
And my old thought is that at that point, why don't you just punt?
Oh, I TMZ. I'm sorry. I left it. Yeah, TMZ. Carlos Santana
Died.
suffers medical emergency before show. Should we bet? Does he make it to tomorrow?
Okay, so Pope Francis
And Carlos.
and Carlos Santana, Mike Patrick. I don't think he counts in that.
So you're looking for threes?
Yeah, Mike
Yeah.
Patrick was an ESPN broadcaster who broadcast. He was the play-by-play voice of the Music City Miracle on ABC. He worked for ESPN.
Oh.
He did Sunday Night Football, and I thought he was very underrated. Back in the days when Sunday Night Football was always a lopsided bad matchup, like the NFL would just give ESPN these crappy games on Sunday night.
So it's like Thursday night football.
No, Thursday night actually has like done a great job of putting up matchups. But like at the time, ESPN didn't do a very good job with Sunday night, or they didn't get very good games for Sunday Night Football. Mike Patrick and Joe Theismann and eventually Paul McGuire made every game an event. It was cool. Like, and the Bills would win typically on Sunday Night Football. They just would when Patrick was the broadcaster. So that could be the 3.
Okay.
That could be. No, I don't know if Mike Patrick counts because a lot of people have forgotten about it. But Carlos Santana and
A
Pope
lot of people
Francis.
forgot about Carlos Santana, but we'll bump with the little Carlos. Maybe we'll send him some good vibes and he'll be okay. I don't even know how old Carlos is. He's got to be damn near.
79.
Is he?
Let me look.
That's a
I'm
great
guess-
guess because
I'm
I was going to say
guessing.
damn near 80, and then I was going to go, well, he could be 81 or 82. I don't know.
So I have masterclass. I have the masterclass subscription. So he teaches a guitar class.
He does?
Yes.
What does he sound like when he talks? I don't
Well,
think-
you know, Billy.
Yes, that's what I thought.
Back when I was playing with
Hey,
Jimmy.
Ming.
So, but here's the thing. He doesn't really teach anything. He goes, He goes through this long-winded explanation. He goes, let me show you. I'm like, I can't do that. You need to tell me how to do that. I can't do that.
Right.
And he's playing a $7,000 Paul Reed Smith guitar, which is like aqua blue, and it's gorgeous. And he's making this thing sing. And I'm like, okay, how do I do that? You just got to get into the note.
What is the, what's his age?
77.
77. Okay, you were closer. We played closest to the pin.
Yeah.
You got it.
Did you play that last night?
We've taken away the closest to the pin because the scoring was too hard for you guys. So we do it 5, 5, and 10 now.
Right.
But I like closest to the pin.
Did you do it last night, though? That's what
No, we kept it 5, 5, and 10. All right, we'll take a moment. Where do we want to go? Do we want to go, and I'll give you both a choice. We can, since we had an on-air meeting already. We can have
every segment should be an on-air meeting about how would you solve this problem?
All right. Do we want to talk about? And I'm not sure. I have lots of thoughts, but I don't know that they're exactly formed the way I
That's
like.
The way I live my life.
The way but I like to have
Billy,
my thoughts. I like to have my
something.
thoughts a little more formed.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about men fighting back? Okay. There's a national case and a local case of men fighting back. Or do we want to talk about the fact that so many people talk about the pussification of America, or I shouldn't use that term, and that because it doesn't really fall there. Unbridled kids, like we're afraid to say things to kids or discipline kids, so they're taking matters into their own hands, and things may be going a little far.
Oh man,
which one would you like? Which one would
they
you
both
like?
seem to go hand in hand, Billy.
Well, they can kind of go hand in hand. But
Let's go with the second one first.
You want to go with the
and
kid?
The first one second.
Is that all right? We go with the kid first.
Yep.
We will get to that right after this. This is one of my favorites from Santana. Listen to that guitar.
When Rob Thomas wrote this,
did he write the lyrics?
Yeah, he wrote the lyrics.
Yeah.
And Carlos said, I can tell that you're with the Latino, your wife's Latino.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his wife's- yeah.
I had a great interview with Rob Thomas on the stage. Just an intimate, like, little show. You know what I found out this past weekend? I have a cousin in New York who, when he was getting married, he and his wife, they were like broke, and they won some raffle to go to a 5-star hotel in Manhattan. So they go there. He goes, 10 years later, he said, we went to the raffle every year. 10 years later, right around our anniversary, we win again. Same hotel. He goes, now it's instead of 3 nights, it's 2 nights, but it's dinner, it's all this stuff. He goes, so first night we're there, we go down into the bar, and he said there's like, I don't know, maybe 10 people in the place at the hotel bar. And he goes, all of a sudden, in walk the Rolling Stones.
Wow.
And they set up and played for about 10 people.
No kidding.
So he goes,
That's fantastic.
He goes, yeah. He goes, this is our 10th wedding anniversary. How great is this? He goes, years later, like 5 or 6 years later, I don't know if they went on their own or they won again. I'm not sure, but they go back to that hotel and they're sitting down at the bar, and the bartender is talking to some of the customers at the hotel, and he goes, yeah, I've been working here for 42 years. And they said, what was, like, who's the most famous or what's one of the most memorable nights? He goes, you're never going to believe this, because there were about 10 people here. The Stones come in and they played. And my cousin goes, you're not going to believe this.
We were there.
We were there. Well, I go, that has been my dream. I have always wanted to see the Rolling Stones in a small, intimate club. And I loved with Rob Thomas. It was a radio thing. We did it in a theater. It was me and Rob. He played a couple of new songs that he had at the time.
Let you play the maracas.
And then and then he and I did a question and answer Q&A. I interviewed him on stage for probably about 10 minutes. He was great. And then we took audience questions and shit. I really liked him.
He's so underrated.
I really liked him.
He's so underrated. He's a great writer. I mean, Matchbox 20 is a great band.
Yeah.
He's a tough guy to try to impersonate when you sing, because I've tried.
Why?
No, in other words, like,
I understand.
I'm not trying to like mimic somebody. When we would go on stage, and Mark, you know this.
Yeah.
You know, when you try to get a little bit of the singer's voice when you cover a song. But when we would sing Matchbox 20 songs, every chick in the bar would be singing along.
Yeah.
They love that dude, because all of his songs are really heartfelt. Every lyric he writes is very, very heartfelt. It's like, I would almost say that they could have been like the Journey of this generation. Because Journey really wrote songs for women. They were a rock band that guys went and watched because women went.
Yeah.
You know, Matchbox 20 in a lot of ways.
I always think that was the thing with Bon Jovi. I
Oh,
swear
it
to God.
was. It
Like,
was.
I don't. There were women, at least in my part of New York, New Jersey. I was in that tri-state area of New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. They ate that shit up, man, and chicks loved Bon Jovi. And so when Slippery When Wet came out, all the girls in high school, so you listen to Bon Jovi because they listen to Bon Jovi.
Yes.
And you wanted them.
That's right. You'd go to who wants to go to a Judas Priest concert? We're going to see freaking leather and fat, ugly Buffalo, New York girls.
That's
You can
so
go- you can
that
go
is
to a-
so true, man. I like that's true. But here's the other thing. If you're saying like Journey, I always say I used to do a joke where I go on the American citizenship test. They should have you recite the lyrics to a Journey song because everybody in America knows Journey's lyrics.
Yes.
I feel like
I've
everybody
always
does.
said this at every wedding.
Yeah.
Okay. I said, if it's a white wedding, okay.
Yeah.
If it's a white wedding, the 7th inning stretch is "Don't Stop Believing," and the national anthem is "Living on a Prayer," or vice versa.
Yeah, or vice versa. Okay.
Where does celebration fall in?
You know, the celebration's all but everybody's on the day. But people are dancing that when they hear "Don't Stop Believing" or they hear "Living on a Prayer," everybody's like into it, like
Yeah.
singing the lyrics like from the from their stomach.
Bellowing. But
song.
this is more my style anyway. Which, if it's written for chicks, I don't know if I got a mangina or not, but
No, you're smart.
yeah,
You got the
I don't know if I am or not. But
No, I mean, what would you rather do? Go to a concert with freaking hot girls?
Although I
Go to
love the
concert-
Stones, but I like that bluesy
Yeah, but the songs
raw.
are different.
Didn't the Stones do a tour of bars at
Yeah.
one point?
No, they did a tour where they played a small club, a concert hall, and a stadium all in the same city.
In the same city?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool.
I don't want to see the stadium show. I mean,
I want to see the I want to see the club
I want to
show.
see the club show. And I forget who it was. It might have been Roger Daltrey. Said they're just a bar blues band. And maybe they are, but they're a damn good one. They're a damn good one. And
I could see why he would say that.
Sure, me too. I understand.
Because the Who was more about like teenage angst and power rock.
Well,
the Stones were like,
I might have been. I wonder if it was Townsend. I thought it was Daltrey who said it, but Townsend's very cerebral.
oh
And,
yes,
yeah, he's a very smart guy. And
Not really.
Pete Townsend?
No, you know what he did, right?
What did he do?
He got busted for child porn.
Pete Townsend?
See, I thought he got exonerated.
He
for
did
that.
get exonerated
I
for
thought
it.
Pete Townsend.
He was writing a book. Well, because
Yes.
Tommy's about being
You believe that shit?
Tommy.
Yes.
The musical
I
Tommy's
do,
about being
actually.
touched.
I actually do.
The musical Tommy's about a kid who went through that, and then all of a sudden, so it would surprise me that he wrote a book about it, and they made fun of him on Family Guy and all this other stuff too. But I thought he was exonerated.
Yeah, I don't think
for
he
that.
did. I don't think he did it.
And he was doing research
And
for a
here's-
book, and he
here's
discovered
why.
it.
No one, look, 2025. Everybody's coming out saying shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Catholic Church, everything. We've never heard anybody else come out and talk about Pete Townsend.
No.
Or anybody.
That's-
I don't know of anybody who's come out and said Pete Townsend.
when I saw the Who back in 1992, and we had backstage passes, he touched me, so I say, bring that
well,
up.
you could, but do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know
I
what
don't
you're
think
saying.
anybody has come forward that way.
No.
Speaking of
In
that,
fact, since Michael Jackson died, we've only heard 2 stories, and they can't even be substantiated.
I know.
So it's
I
like-
think he was just weird.
Yeah, I think he's just a weird
dude,
guy.
and that was
You know what he was?
a child.
He had the same personality and the traits that Jesus Christ had. He loved children. He loved children, but he wasn't freaking molesting them.
Yeah,
But he loved children.
yeah. Well, Jesus is,
Christ loves children.
Yeah, Jesus always bring unto me.
Yeah, suffer me the children.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. The way you said that, I was like,
Well,
okay,
he did like Michael Jackson. He's very Jesus-like. He would rise out of stages and stuff. I saw it, Danny. I saw some great shows.
Yeah, he's still alive. So he freaking some freaking Easter Sunday, he's gonna freaking rise from the dead.
All right.
Okay.
Yes, it was Danny's big holiday.
Yes.
Yeah, all go
Resurrection
well.
Sunday. Yeah,
All
it was
go well?
great.
All right, good. No, I'm glad.
What church do you go to?
What?
What church do you go to?
Faith Bible in
Okay.
Brighton.
Isn't it the big drum set? Isn't it like
No,
there's one church where
No.
they have this huge drum set.
There's a few of them actually.
Oh.
The Father's House, I think, has a huge drum set. I think First Bible has a big drum
What
set.
what is wrong? What
I think
What? Somebody's beating the skins up there.
Grace Road has a huge drum set.
What? Go ahead.
we're talking about Jesus Christ in churches, and when we go off the air, we're gonna end up talking about something.
Yes, completely. All right. I said they're children today.
Oh,
Yeah.
by the way, I ended up at Cracker Barrel
Oh
on Easter Sunday.
Ugh.
Can I tell you?
How good?
Oh, it was fantastic.
People
I
watching?
waited for an hour to eat, and I still had a blast. Yeah, the people watching. So they got that store, that general store, right?
Mhm.
So the longer you're sitting there waiting, the more and more you're tempted to buy something.
Mhm.
And so you're sitting there, and I'm like, you know what? This soap smells really good. I think I'm going to buy it. So I use my Yuka app. I scan it, and I'm like, okay, it's healthy. I can use it, right? Because I'm scanning everything
Yeah.
nowadays, right? So, but it's like expensive soap, but you get a lot of soap for your money. So I go up and wait in line.
It's just a set.
And there's only one cash register person for Easter Sunday in Cracker Barrel, and it's like the lady with the glasses in her 60s who's still working because she has to work. This
Yeah.
poor woman, and she goes, "Yeah, my help called in sick this morning. It's just
Of
one
course
of
they
us,
do.
right?" And these 2 ladies, black lady, white lady, both older. Yeah, I'll tell you what the problem is. Nobody wants to come to work anymore. That's what the problem is.
Yes.
Monday morning, I told my grandson, why aren't you working? You know what? He's up all night playing video games. I went to my daughter and said, who bought him those $100 video games? Why is he not working? He's 26 years old. He's still living at home. And then the older lady goes, yeah, tomorrow I got to go work at the home. Guess what? Guess who's calling in? All those millennials. They all take Monday off. You know why? Because they all live at home. And they're going back and forth and like exchanging stories.
Well,
and I'm just sitting there going, yeah, I hear you.
We hear a lot of things. I don't know where the truth ever lies with this stuff, right? Because I'm not interacting with those kids.
Mm-hmm.
High school kids I did interact with in a school district. They were great. I'm younger kids. Sometimes they're great. I don't know. This story though is oftentimes we will hear that parents are too soft, too overprotective, right? Almost the helicopterish parent where they won't allow certain things to be done. And I think some people feel like they got to step in and they're going to take over. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And Mark can attest to this because you went to Catholic school and how
Yes.
brutal it could be.
It was.
And I mean, I hear from my father the shit that went on, like, you know,
when I was younger.
Yes.
When I went to the Catholic, when I went to the high school, they were getting ready to close this. We didn't know this time. They were getting ready to close the school, so they didn't give a fuck about anything. So we did whatever we wanted.
right.
But yeah, I mean, priests were allowed. They were allowed
To hit
us.
you,
Oh yeah.
all that shit.
Oh
What
yeah.
school did you go to?
Mother of Sorrows.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not a
Sounds-
charter school.
Sounds sad.
They're gonna make you. They're gonna beat you to your sorrow.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
never got in trouble. I remember kids getting beaten in front
Yeah.
of us. Yeah.
Well, so like
Use
that,
your right hand.
but that would scare the shit out of you.
Yeah.
it sure
right?
did.
Get scared straight, man.
But let me tell you right now, you can't even look at a kid
No.
crooked.
No.
That's the problem.
Yeah. Well, it is. So in this story, I hear you. I think that there's a line somewhere along the. There's got to be a middle ground between screaming in a kid's face or beating the crap out of them in some fashion, or really intimidating them, or and just kind of going, "What are you doing? You're better than this."
Mhm.
I say that a lot. I'll just go, "You're better than this. I know it," and they stop.
Yeah.
And I'm not raising my voice. I'm not doing anything. But this is a bizarre story, and it comes out of a town that your brother lives in.
Tampa.
You got it. 43-year-old guy name is Marius Muta. Marius Muta was getting pissed off because people were throwing eggs at his apartment. Now, the thing
With a name like Marius Muta,
yeah,
you could have brought it on himself.
the thing that's funny to me is that it's an apartment building. What do you care? Let the maintenance guys clean it up.
Right. It's not your
It's
mess.
not your house. Right. That you pay the rent. That should be included in the rent. But Muta had it. And he had been dealing with egg vandalism for a week now. And he saw the girl. He heard eggs. He saw the girl walking by. And he ran outside. And this is what happened.
I wasn't doing anything, I swear to God! I swear I'm not. Get off of her!
Okay. So he's on top of her. He's got her like in a chokehold. She's on like all fours. He's on top of her with his hand around. And I think this guy's like, fuck it. You're running wild. Parents, I'm taking this into my own hands.
Takes a village, Billy.
Well, I know.
Until it doesn't.
He gets arrested. He chased her, forced her to the ground, restrained her. All of it now caught on somebody's cell phone. You heard the woman say, call 911, and then some other guy come yelling, get your hands off her. And then he runs into the screen, and that's all you see. He posted $6,000 bail, but he claimed he was trying to take a photo for apartment management, but he was arrested and charged with battery. He wanted management to see who was doing this. And I go, it's a minor neighborhood nuisance, number one, right? But back in the day, ever get yelled at or chased by somebody in the neighborhood?
Yeah.
I may have. You did?
Oh, yeah.
And
I mean,
then
nothing major, but like if you were doing something, if you were getting out of hand, the neighbors would come out and say, listen, you're doing this on my property. Get out. You know?
Yeah.
We lived in a pretty good neighborhood, but like a lot of times, like we would get out of hand and then it started getting like louder and louder. Nothing major, but the older people would be like, okay, all right, let's break it up. Let's stop.
But
Go
that
home.
kind of stuff is go home. But I remember my buddy and we were teenagers. He lived right by where the speed limit changed from 55 to 35 as he entered the village. But he lived up on, like, it was called Stissing Mountain, and you started at an incline. So his backyard was kind of a fall off, and there was the highway. It snowed a little bit, and we decided we were bored, so we would go outside and just whip snowballs at the cars from the woods. Well, I was aiming for the back windshield. He was aiming, I don't know where he was aiming. He hits the front windshield. The brakes lock up just as I hit the back windshield of this car, of this truck, of a truck. So we go sprinting back up the hill, and we're hiding in the house. And my buddy goes, I'm going to jump in the shower. And he had a lot of hair back in the day. And he comes out, and there's a knock on the door. Dog's going crazy. So I walk over, and I goes, hey, do you guys see anybody throwing snowballs? And I said, no. I said, but the dog was just going crazy. And I said, we looked out the window. There's a lot of footprints and things. It's like us coming back in the house. Here comes my buddy. He's like, what's going on? He's got a towel wrapped around him. And the only part of his head that's wet is like just the center part of his hair. Everything else is dry. What's going on? I'm in the shower the whole time. The whole time what? The whole time what? Some of you dumb motherfuckers could never lie. I needed to teach a class. Not even lie. Just be cool.
Just be cool.
Just be fucking cool. Remember, Danny?
Yeah.
Just be cool.
Just be cool.
Just be cool.
It's like Pulp Fiction. Tell us, hey, be cool.
Yeah.
Be cool.
Just be cool. But I'm like, where's the line between neighborhood vigilance and dangerous delusion to where, I mean, you really just scared the shit out of an 11-year-old girl.
11?
I mean, that
11-year-old
that
girl.
was very close to becoming a George Zimmerman situation.
I think
with
so.
Trayvon Martin.
Yeah.
George Zimmerman was a guy who took himself, like Dwight Schrute, like that guy we were talking about off air, a little too seriously. Thought he was a bit of a boss, right?
The only one who
Acting
didn't
like
take
he
him
was the
seriously was
general.
his wife.
Took himself a little too seriously. Thought he had authority he didn't have, and that's how Trayvon Martin ended up dead, because the guy took himself a little too seriously.
Now, look, we don't know if this girl was guilty or not.
right.
That is not.
But that's not the way to handle it.
No, I understand.
But I understand why.
But
After a while,
my point is also, we do think that kids aren't disciplined as well today, and that they have. I don't know, Mark. You work in a school, but you work with younger guys, younger kids.
Yeah.
But I think the kids have. I used to think it was the Disney Channel. It taught you how to be a smartass. It taught you. It almost was like a great tutorial for the kids that were really could pick up on it. Timing and smartass remarks on how to deliver it with the right inflection, the right tone, everything. Now it's even fucking bigger than that. It's every video that kids watch. It's how to be an asshole. It's basically they're beyond timing and what's funny. They're just showing you how to be just an asshole. You got comebacks for everything and this and that, and it's like, holy shit. It's 24. It's right there in the palm of your hand.
Yes.
If I had that as a child, I would have been so much further in my career. You know what I mean? Like, I love that, but I get this. Here's the bad part is I kind of get where this guy's coming at. I mean, maybe
of course we
I
do.
could see raising your voice and yelling like, "Hey,
knock it off."
yeah, were you
But-
just throwing eggs?"
But
That's where they
Well,
get
we
to say
don't-
fuck you. And then the 11-year-old will say fuck you to him.
right.
Yeah, well, that's when I film it, and now I got it, and I can put it on social media, and I can go to my tribe and go, "Look at the kids today. I confronted this girl about throwing eggs at my house, and she told me to F off." And I got her on video, and I can do that, and I can feel justified. I shouldn't be.
No.
I should not be.
No.
I should not
Yeah,
be.
if you're going to do that, you need to like have
Oh
a
my
plan,
gosh, he's
a
got
plan
a-
of attack, like
This is
taping
a
it up.
plan of attack. This dude. I mean,
He just jumped right
he's
into
got
it.
her
My
down.
point of a plan of attack is, okay, set up a pattern of, hey, is this your daughter?
Yeah.
Is this your granddaughter? Is this your niece? Is this your friend? Is this your neighbor? Hey, if you see this girl, here's what she likes to do.
Sometimes parents don't want to hear it.
Like you always say, like a little. I'm not a big proponent of shaming people.
Yeah, but a little bit of
Sometimes
shame.
a little bit of
Yeah,
shame.
a little bit of shame goes a long way.
little bit of shame is
Hey,
good.
listen. Here's the one that
It's like that vaccination. Just a little bit of the flu will prevent the flu.
Here's
A little bit of polio prevents polio.
yeah. No, I get you. Yeah, that's exactly how I think of shame sometimes.
Yes.
Like a little bit.
Like
of
I
shame
don't believe
to
in being a
go-
tattletale, but sometimes when it keeps coming, no. Okay, hey, look, is this? I want to know what's.
It's a pattern.
Yeah.
I want you to see a pattern. Here's one that I had where I experienced it. It's Hurricane Agnes Were we doing a show together then? 2014?
No, you had just moved on.
No. Did I?
Yeah, because like
I don't remember.
We would have made a joke about the hurricane being named after your grandmother, but I don't remember us doing that.
All right.
Maybe
I think it was Agnes, but it was Halloween.
Okay.
And so I would have still been there. I don't remember when this was. My oldest son is in 6th grade, and Jackson is was diagnosed on the spectrum, whatever. I don't even know. He's fine.
Yeah, the disease formerly known, or no, the condition formerly known as Asperger's.
So he gets off the bus.
They changed it.
And I had that video camera that had the USB port, and I
okay. So then we were working together.
So I start filming, Mark.
Okay, I remember this.
Yes, the kid. I'll find the video and I'll play it.
Yes, we were working.
I will
together.
find this video.
That's
we'll
right.
play it next set.
Okay, we were working together.
So he gets off the bus, Mark, and he starts ranting immediately. Halloween better not be canceled because of this stupid hurricane, because I really want to get some candy, and I've been waiting all day to go out in my costume. And he's just ranting. And I'm in the garage, and I'm filming him.
And this is Jackson, not Jordan.
No, this is Jackson. And he's coming in, and it's raining. All of a sudden, I start hearing wheels come squealing. Now, I lived on a road. If you went straight, it was a 4-way stop, but I was like a curve through. So sometimes kids from the high school would use that as like to beat their friends home or to somebody's house. I totally get that. But I also have young children at this point. My oldest is in 6th grade. And I'm not even sure if Jameson was on the scene then, because yes, he would have been. Yeah, he was. So I have a boxer dog, and the dog is with me, and all of a sudden we hear screeching tires, and there's wet leaves, and this car comes around, spins out, and hits my mailbox, takes out the mailbox. Mail goes everywhere, and the car spins around and stops right like in front of this giant tree in my house. And I'm standing there, and I go, what the hell is going on? Jackson, I filmed the whole thing. I go running out. The camera's still running. I'm filming the whole dog is going crazy, barking like crazy. And Jackson, Jackson runs up to the guy and goes, are you okay? I'd never ask. It's a kid from the high school. He's taken out my mailbox and skidded. And the thing is, like, had my son gone to the mailbox, there's a good chance he would have been injured by the guy, by the kid. So I say to the kid, he's like, oh, man. I go, what's the matter? He goes, second car. I wrecked a car over the summer. Dad's a doctor, and Dad got him a new car. He rolled a car in Canandaigua or something on a hill. So I go, well, listen, man. I said, I'm not one to talk or anything. I said, he goes, I'll take care of the mail. I go, you know what? You don't have to take care of anything. I'm glad you're safe. I said, well, what you have to do is tell your parents that you got into another accident. And I said, I'm only saying that as a parent myself. I would want to know, because you could die, and you got to, and I always say patterns. This is your second car that you fucked up in 6 months. Come on. So the kid, I wind up calling the kid. I got his number somehow, and I go, buddy, let me talk to your parents. Oh, and I go, did you tell your mom? No, I didn't. So eventually I figure out who it is, and I call the mother. They didn't give a shit.
Really?
To me, they didn't give a shit. They didn't say to me, thank you, or you know what? I'm so glad like your kid wasn't hit. Because I go, listen, my kid could have been at the mailbox. Your kid's taking it. He's taking these too fast. And if he's doing it here, he's doing it elsewhere. And if it's not going to be somebody else, it'll definitely be him. You just want to tell him to like slow the fuck down, or I don't know, make him pay the insurance, whatever. But I'm not telling her what to do. I'm just saying you may want to just. And she's like, yep. They didn't want to hear from somebody else, and that's a new thing to me. That I think parents are like that.
My wife deals with it all the time.
Yeah, I'm surprised because man, my old man fucking ratted me out to the school for skipping school. I came home right away, and he asked me once, hey, was my first period teacher in school? And I go, I don't know. I didn't go today because I thought it was like a trap. And he goes, well, your sister got sick, and I was in the waiting room. I had to pick her up from school, and I thought I saw your first period teacher. I could have said he was there or not there, and I would have gotten away with it. I said, no, I skipped. My father called the school and told him.
See, my father wouldn't have done that, but he would have handled
I
it.
got the fuck. I don't know. But my point was, it's a very different parenting. It's like
Yes.
involved going, hey, I want you to know he broke one of your rules.
Yeah.
I'm going to handle it here. I don't think there was any punishment at home. It was
Yeah.
just, you got detention. Fuck you. That's the way it is. And I go, here, I'm not calling all I'm doing is trying to tell your kid to stay alive or not hurt somebody else.
This is 15 years ago.
And because then I'm at the comedy club. I'm hosting something, and these kids, and there's some breakdown, or it's in between because it was the funniest person thing, and they're doing the voting and stuff. And I'm on stage, and they go, "Hey, you're the guy. You had the video. It has millions of views. Of it was our buddy so and so." I go, "Where?" So I tell the entire story. The fucking audience is roaring because I really embellished the story just off the top of my head about the dog and the this and the kid. And I go, "Yeah." And I go, "His parents didn't get it." He goes, "No, the parents just." Dad was a doctor and just got him another car.
Right.
Didn't give a shit.
Are they so like this?
I don't know.
Are they so self-absorbed?
I can't.
Are they resigned?
I think it's
or
also.
is it ego?
I don't want to
like
be
not
told,
my kid, not my kid.
I will tell you this. I will say this, and I don't mean this in any way because people can spin things, and I hope you don't. I hope people have open ears. There was maybe a different culture.
It's true.
Maybe
you're not spinning anything.
No, it may be a different culture, and meaning that he was of, I believe, Indian descent, and I wonder if there's something where I don't want to hear how to raise my kid from you. You know what I mean? Or anything. I don't know. I have no idea. The kid was probably super nice. These kids years later who were all out of college by this time and recognized me and knew the story. They all seem like great kids. So who knows? He wasn't a bad kid. Just because you speed, I just didn't want you to hurt yourself or somebody else. And you're sitting there with your head in your hands on my front lawn that you have torn up, by the way, and you've taken out my mailbox, and you go, "Oh shit, this is the second time I did this." And I go, "What?" Yeah. All right, we'll take a moment. I'm going to find that video, and then we're going to get into men defending themselves.
Yeah, my wife goes through this crap all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
she's doing a musical right now.
Yeah,
she's getting ready for this huge musical. This is her crowning achievement every year. She loves doing it, and she has to sit down with the parents and the kids before the musical even starts. Says, "Look, there's going to be mandatory rehearsals. If your child wants to be in this, if you want to be in this musical, you have to make these rehearsals. This comes first over sports, over everything." This is junior high, okay? And every year she gets 20 different excuses from parents, not kids, parents, of why, so and so had to miss this and had to. She goes, "You signed the agreement." Yeah, but we don't care.
Yeah, well,
we don't give a crap.
No,
it's my kid. Don't tell me how to raise my kid.
Sometimes life is hard, with this juggling schedules and stuff.
It is, but it's commitment.
I just thought
she's got to be there.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. I'm just going at the same time with this other kid. It's a car. You could take out the teacher and who knows.
Think about this though, really, really quickly. Anyway, go to break. We are the parents of today. We could be their parents.
Oh yeah,
like the kids. I work with.
Oh yeah.
Kids I work with. I'm old enough to be their grandfather.
Yeah. I know.
Which is weird.
Yeah, it's very weird to feel that way because no one feels that. Yeah, you're right. And I'm not mocking. I'm sure the parents do a great job. I'm sure this kid I'm talking about was successful. I have no idea with this Tampa case, but somewhere there's got to be a little bit of a balance. Yes. And there was the saying, "It takes a village." Yeah, but we don't want the village anymore.
Well, that's right. The people who used to say it takes a village are now no longer saying it takes a village. The same group of people that used to say, "Oh, it takes a village," no longer want the village to have that responsibility.
Yeah.
They want the state to have it.
Well, sometimes it's hard to, I don't want to step in on somebody's kid. I would steer clear of a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I don't want to get into whatever. If the parent came along and goes, "Hey, thanks. Hey, get your shit together."
Yeah.
Don't do that. That's it. But all right, we will take a moment. Men defending men, and I'm going to find that video. I'm going to play. We'll get to all that right after this. You ever play
We
this?
used to do this.
Did you really?
It was one of those songs that I didn't really memorize until the last very possible second. With each lyric, you don't remember the lyrics until you just get to the last second. But every time we sang this song, man, these chicks loved it. This at 3 a.m. By a hand that's touched me. Like he's got so much emotion in his voice. It's hard to replicate.
I think he had a fucked up life.
I think he had a coke problem too at one point.
Yeah, well, part of a fucked up life somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, they go hand in hand.
Matchbox 20. I don't know. We got on it because Mark said underrated, and I have to agree.
Yeah.
Not Matt, but him more than Matchbox 20.
Yeah, he's underrated. He's
Just
great.
bad.
Yeah, writes the songs, and
Mhm.
songs are good. And
Did he write about a song about his wife, like having cancer or something?
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Like 3 a.m. was about his mother living with cancer, and then I think he wrote a song called "Her Diamonds." I think about her going through his wife.
Oh, I think you're right.
going because I think
Yeah.
you actually talked about it
Yes.
because you were going through something similar
Yeah.
in your family, and you related to him about
Oh,
that
I
song.
gotta find that. I gotta find that song. We'll do that one next. Okay, I found the video. So this is when I lived in Pittsburgh, and this is the whole video. You'll hear Jackson ranting as he gets off the school bus. And I'm just happened to be in the garage. I don't know what compelled me to go out into the garage, open the door as he's getting off the bus, and just start filming. I have no idea, but I did, and I'm glad I did because this is what we get. This is all real. Bill's eye view.
Hey, this hurricane better come tomorrow because everybody at school and Dad, the guy who's filming, you get this? Not the
Yeah.
camera for yes.
Not the camera for yes. You getting this? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I did for that.
Here it comes.
Jesus!
Oh my God.
Jesus, yo. He just took out, I said fucking
Christ.
asshole. The dog's going
You
nuts.
gotta be
He just
kidding
took out the mailbox. He just stopped in front of this big tree. I wish I could be shown it.
Hey,
Yeah.
man, you all right?
You okay?
Jackson says that you're right. It's
You all
a
right?
Honda sedan.
You all right?
I'm all good.
I'm
Wow.
all good.
I'm so sorry.
Why are you racing?
He's mad.
I
He's
tried to slow down. I just started slipping, I guess.
Bro.
Dogs
You
are
right?
nuts.
Yeah, I'm all right.
All right.
So shit. This is the kid, right?
That's cool. I mean,
Woo.
I
We were just filming in the driveway.
You
You know.
got it all on tape.
Huh? We did actually. It was beautiful. You want to see it? Want to watch yourself again?
I think he-
All right. Let's see. You have no real damage to your car. Oh wait, you did. You got a little stuff here.
So the
Little
wind's
stuff
like
there.
picking up. You can hear it all that.
the mail!
The mail. Jackson.
And nothing, just bills.
Yeah, that's right. As long as you didn't take out yourself and didn't hit a tree. All right.
Bella's going crazy.
I'm so sorry about that.
All right. I'm so sorry.
Well, the only thing I would tell you is slow down a little on this road. Yeah. All right.
That's it. That was it.
Over 1 million views.
I might be wrong on that. It looks like it's not a million.
10 views.
No, 8.8 thousand or something. I don't know.
That's still a lot of views.
Yeah, but not a million. And it's 12 years old. But that was yeah. That was the kid. And then he went into this whole thing. Yeah. While taping my son talking about the potential Hurricane Sandy canceling Halloween, a 17-year-old kid took out her mailbox with his car. And then I ended up eventually calling his mother because he wasn't. I'm like, I want you to tell your parents. It's the only thing I want you to do. I don't care. And then I said to the mother, like, he took out her. Now I'm like, okay, fuck it. Now I'm gonna. Hey, you took out my mailbox. At least pay for the mailbox. Nah, they wanted nothing to do.
Kid's 30 years old now.
Yeah. Well, it's 12 years ago. If he was 17, he's what is he? 29?
29.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
almost 30 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's probably got
Let's
kids.
find him.
It's possible that he has kids of his own.
That's right.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
very, very
They're
possible.
driving their Tonka trucks into people's mailboxes
Yeah.
in Pittsburgh.
There's two cases. One's local and one is national. And it's men, I'm going to say, standing up for themselves. For a very long time, it's very hard to talk about this stuff and walk a line and have people fully agree, because I think that right away people make a rash, what I'll say is a knee-jerk reaction to saying things about this, and then they decide, well, you're an asshole or you're a misogynist or whatever. And I don't want to hear anything you have to say. But you've got the Shannon Sharp case and what's going on there. And then you've got,
which is bullshit, by the way.
well, maybe. I don't know. See, here's the trouble I have with that is I'm with you. But I'll say I'm glad that he's defending himself so vehemently, and he probably has the money to do that, because to fight these things is a lot of money.
But you accuse somebody of
Yes.
rape,
Yes.
rape, and then you send them pictures of you saying, "Do you miss my ass?"
Yes.
Kind of makes me think like she's out for the money.
Okay, I hear you. The other one is this Andre Evans, who I'm not super familiar with, but I believe he's the I know that he is the supervisor of a local town to where we record the podcast, and he has been hit with a sexual harassment complaint, and they now have a court date to bring him to court because they want him out as the town supervisor.
Okay.
A court date has been set for October 20th to determine whether he should be removed from office following multiple sexual harassment allegations. Again, I don't know. The accusations stem from a report stating Evans made inappropriate comments about a female employee's body and clothing. Despite serious claims, Evans has denied any wrongdoing, calling the allegations politically motivated. However, complicating his defense is the fact that he reportedly has not completed the mandatory sexual harassment training. That's the best part of this. That's the best part. You gotta fucking dot your I's and cross your T's, you dummy. I mean, come on.
Gotta watch it once a
If
year.
you knew this shit was happening, I always wanted to be the guy.
The actor in the movie.
I wanted to be the sexual harasser. I wanted to be the guy in there. Hey, Barbara.
You're looking good over there.
Barbara, like those big boobs.
See, I miss like 60, 70 shows where they could smoke, drink, and sexually harass each other. Nobody gave a fuck.
I know, but
Wasn't that called Mad Men?
yeah. But listen, like even at the same time, women shouldn't have to go to work and fear or be made uncomfortable. Nobody should. And I agree with the stuff, but I don't know if this is politically motivated. I don't know anything about Andre Evans, excuse me. The censure was a move the board said was necessary to foster a safe work environment. So I guess he was censured by the town board.
Wait, if he doesn't complete his sexual harassment training, then technically he didn't know any better.
Well, that's true. Danny, he should get you part of his legal team.
Yeah,
He
where's
could be part
Steve
of his dream team.
This does not make sense. This is a Chewbacca. This does not make sense.
Well, calling serious allegations political motivation is a good cover. It could be that. I don't know.
If he didn't do the training, you can't do the blaming.
Well, you can't hold government officials to a lower HR standard than anybody else. So he needs to complete the sexual harassment training. I think everybody in New York,
Andre, you signed this.
has to do it.
Is this your signature?
And yeah,
you got question 7 wrong. Did you fix it?
nothing screams.
Did you hand in your corrections?
Yeah, nothing screams campaign strategy like commenting on a coworker's clothes. But so they have this whole thing to get him out. He's saying he didn't do it. He's going to stand up and fight back. And there is a point where sometimes people have taken the easier path because it was the easier path, or it was suggested in some way, and people's lives have been completely altered. I don't know that Andre, well, it could be. If you're ousted from a political office, even at a low level, and I'm not saying, but a local level, right? I don't mean low level, but local level. How do you go find another job?
You can't.
They all know who you are. You've been all over the fucking news.
Right.
I mean, like the teacher in Webster, who I'm forgetting his name at the moment, who fought.
That's okay. I don't think he minds.
That he fought back against an accusation from a student, and he pushed it, and he took it all the way to trial. The school doesn't want that. They want you out. They don't want to fight this shit. They want you fucking gone. Nothing. They don't care. And it's not that they don't care, but they don't care. They got bigger things to deal with, and I don't want this. You're a distraction, and you're bad press. You're bad press. I mean, I think it came out like he was accused of sleeping with another teacher who was like a yoga instructor, and then in the whole thing, they find out that the principal was having an affair with her. Like a lot of dirty laundry came out of this.
Sounds like radio.
Yeah, and this guy This guy wound up being not guilty.
Yes.
Not guilty. He fought back. And I don't know. Look,
They drained that swamp.
well, I'm going to play Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp has a $50 million lawsuit from a woman who is 30 years his junior. He is 56 years old. He met her while working out at the gym. And I think his opening line to her, because maybe he started flirting, maybe she accepted, whatever it was. I'm sure it was something a little more consensual. The rap that I read said
2 brand new hips, baby.
She said,
these ain't gonna break.
if you can beat me in a strength competition, I'll pay for your tits. I think that was
that was what started.
I think there was something like that,
or some allegedly.
This is him taking a few minutes, I believe, on First Take today on ESPN. Shannon Sharp.
And he says this
to my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues. I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about, and I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
Unk's not messing around.
Okay, but Unk also, this comes out on the eve that, and Club Shay Shay is under your friend
Kyle Cowherd, the volume,
but they just got an offer to leave for $100 million.
Yes,
they were gonna for Club Shay Shay. Somebody, I don't know who it is. I don't know if it's Spotify, Sirius.
He's that big, and it came out over the weekend. And the reason, because they knew this was coming, so they released the fact that he was offered $100 million to go leave. So just to show you that this is a shakedown.
Well,
his lawyers are trying to make it look like this is a shakedown.
Now listen to this. I'm about to play you a phone call from the young woman to
Unk,
but he knows now. At this point, I believe he's aware that a lawsuit is either coming or it's already out. Is that the bag? I'm sorry, buddy. It's already out. So listen to this. This is Shannon Sharp with the girl.
Like
a lot of dead time in here. This is when you know a guy's pissed off. He ain't.
I don't know. Anything I say, you're just gonna like get mad at, and you're just gonna hang up on me. So I feel like
I'm not going to hang up on you.
Sounds like a father and daughter to me.
What does that even mean?
Nothing, Gabby.
Nothing, Gabby.
You want to be a dick to me now, so.
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
Oh, no, that mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to fucking choke the shit out of you when I see you.
That's not good. I know. But hang on now.
Thank you.
What's the stereotype of big black men? Violent, angry.
OJ.
Yeah, those are the things. Are they not? I mean, they are. So he's not saying anything. But how many other guys would just go, I want to, I'll fucking whatever, right?
Oh yeah,
and just say it.
Yeah, because
say it because you're pissed off.
Yeah, they don't really mean.
But they're not going to do that.
Yeah.
I don't think.
I don't
hope.
So clearly, she's taping this, knowing that.
Yeah.
You know what?
You know what? Say it, bitch.
Well, I don't want to be choked.
I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
I don't think you have a choice in the matter.
Oh,
that's
dun 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 dun.
Right. So that looks terrible. Right?
Yeah.
But I believe was out prior to him talking on ESPN today. That was from First Take.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see it?
No, but I'm just wondering, does he still have his job?
I believe so, because
Yeah,
it's just an accusation at this point.
Still
Oh, you lose your jobs because
Of course you do. You lose your job. You could lose your $100 million deal. I don't think that's going to hurt Shannon Sharp in the long run, but it certainly damages potential earning from here forward. I would think for sure. Who's going to touch this?
Well, so the reason he ended up with this Club Shay Shay is because of his work on Undisputed.
That was you in the bathroom? How long were you in there? Doing what? How are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Because I looked down, I couldn't tell if you sold those sneakers or not. I came back into Danny and go, I think that's Jameson in there. And I almost said, hey, Jameson.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about. I was like, oh my god, that's why I said something.
I almost kicked underneath the toilet.
Yeah, imagine if it wasn't me.
That's why I didn't do it, because I go, what if it's not him? But I'm pretty sure those are his sneakers, but I didn't know if you had sold them. Anyway.
Shannon Sharp, when he was on Undisputed with Skip Bayless went to the network and fought to get Shannon Sharp to be part of the show. They've since had a falling out, but that show went on. The ratings were terrible, but Shannon really grew from that show and became a real voice because his opinions were so dead. I don't want to say dead on, but they're so forthright.
Well, when he gets
was
worked up, it's hard to understand.
He became incredibly entertaining. But he made a lot of sense, whether you agree with him or disagree with him. The problem is the reason he ended up at Fox was his second chance. He was at CBS, the NFL Today, and he got kind of low key suspended, eventually let go because of other accusations in the past.
Okay.
Right. So that's what led him. That's why they took a huge chance on him with Skip Bayless, because nobody wanted to work with Skip Bayless. But Shannon Sharp could talk. And Shannon Sharp's an ex-jock, and he knows he's got a way with words. So they took a chance on Shannon, and it paid huge dividends. And then he got Club Shay Shay because of his relationship with Colin Cowherd and everything else. But he has a history. He has actually said, and I've heard him say this on Undisputed. He said, I will never get into an elevator with another woman unless it's Joy Taylor at the time, his co-host, because I don't want to be accused of something.
Yeah.
So he has been accustomed to shakedowns in the past.
Well, look, I don't know, because here's the other side of this. The woman that Andrea Evans there's an EA on the end. It's throwing me off. I think it's Andre.
Yeah.
Andre Evans, whatever he said to that woman, if that made you uncomfortable, I get it. And you shouldn't have to feel that way. But at the same time, how far do we go with this stuff? What happened to, hey man, cut the shit. Don't do it again. Do it again. And I'm going to, right. Where is that?
Right.
Where did that go?
We just go from 0 to
go 0 to you're out of here. And I'm telling you, you are fucking with people's lives. And when I see these guys stand up and fight back, like Andre Evans going, no, this isn't going down without a fight.
Yeah.
I'm going to fight. I see Shannon Sharp. Look, he says consensual stuff. Was it rough? Probably. I have no idea, but it was consensual according to him, and according to her, it was a consensual relationship to a certain degree. I think she came back. Didn't you say something about him coming back to him?
Go ahead.
She sent him text messages saying, I want to see you. You want this ass.
Yeah.
So right there, I mean,
and she's accused him of multiple rapes. So who goes back to somebody to get raped several times?
As they say in the opening of the lawsuit, and I don't know how many pages it is, a woman can say yes to you 99% of the time, but the one time she says no and you continue, and according to it, she was screaming and crying and telling him to stop, and he wasn't. I have no idea. Again, it comes down to he said, she said, and I hate seeing somebody be the victim of any kind of abuse in any way. A lot of times we don't say anything. I never said anything about being molested as a kid because I didn't think people would do anything. I didn't want to ruin relationships. Your dad's going to get mad at you, I was told. All these things. So you don't say anything. Well, you shouldn't have to live that way. That's a shitty way to live. And I know it. I've done it. I lived it. I know. So I wouldn't want to see somebody go through that. At the same time, when something does happen, to turn around and weaponize it later on, to me is fucking cruel. It's absolutely cruel to have, to act in a manner and be cool and all this shit, and then all of a sudden something doesn't go your way and you whip this out and fucking dump it down, and whether or not he broke up with her. I'm just saying in general to many people who do this. And then what happens is the guy's out because automatically we've gone masculine toxicity or whatever the fuck they call it.
Toxic masculinity.
All right, fine.
Right.
I like masculine toxicity. No, I know, but toxic masculinity, all this shit that people want to start spewing, you kind of go to it. Yes, men are bigger physically, more intimidating. Yes, he made me uncomfortable. Okay, but what happened? But that was, 2 years ago. Why now are you coming forward from one incident on something, or why didn't you say anything then in an era where people are saying shit? Why?
Right.
Like Andrea Evans, that wouldn't have come out years ago. You could have, and if that girl's uncomfortable, that woman's uncomfortable, fine. But does he need to be out, or does he need to be
disciplined?
I don't know about discipline or just taught the better way.
Talked about.
We go in society where it's this fucking black and white shit where all of a sudden you're out. You're not wrong. You're dead fucking wrong. Well, hang on a second. What do you want to do? You want to make a better society? So what do? Just kick everybody out? So now we got a bunch of pissed off motherfuckers waiting. And you know what happens? This shit. These guys are now fighting back because they fucking had it. And they can. They can. He's going to waste your tax dollars and go, fine, fuck you. I'm going to waste your tax dollars. And the other guy's got millions of dollars and goes, fuck you. I dare you. I dare you. And the rest of the world has to sit around and kowtow to the people who think they have the power, and they shouldn't. And they're usually awful people themselves. When you get down to it, some of these people who make these accusations are pretty shitty fucking human beings. That's a fact. Look at the fuck up. I'm serious. And it bothers me. And I don't want people to think, again, I lived with shame and abuse and all that stuff. I lived it. I know what it's like to keep a secret like that. You shouldn't have to do that, but you shouldn't weaponize it either. And if you want to make a better society and somebody made a comment on your clothes, then we have a meeting and go, don't do that again. It makes people uncomfortable. It's not 1997 anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's how we solve it.
There's no degrees anymore.
We don't. Well, that's how we solve it. We don't do this other bullshit where now all of a sudden now you got everybody in the world's gonna. You got a court battle and it's embarrassing and it's the town. What the fuck is this? Stop. Grow the fuck up. Be an adult and say, Andre, cut the shit. Do it again. You're out.
Yeah. Pretty simple.
It seems simple to me, But then the other side of it is we'll weaponize it. I see an opportunity. I'm going to film it. I'm going to document it. I'm going to call my friends. I'm going to text them. I'm going to weaponize anything I can to make a perceived situation that was or wasn't way worse or as bad as I can make it. And then I got that. And then when something doesn't go my way, I get dumped. I get fired. I get whatever. I got this. I'm going to fucking weaponize it. Well, fuck you. I hope it comes back to bite you in the ass. And I mean that.
By the way, the Tony Busby part of this.
Yes.
Tony Busby.
He was the Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. He represented the 30.
Which, by the way,
that was a real situation.
That seems like it might have been pretty legit. I don't know.
So because I think, because that was legit, all of a sudden now he becomes the hot name.
Yes.
For this particular case.
Yeah, he does. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get all.
That's good. No, it's
fired up about that. I did. Right.
No, it's cool.
We'll take a moment. Draft coming up.
Yes, it is.
I'd like to hear thoughts.
Okay.
I'd like to hear a former Jets fan's thoughts. And
you were a Jets fan?
My mother was a Jets fan, so I grew up. I grew up as a kid.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with being a Jets fan?
A lot. Where do you want me to fucking start?
Hey, you always had 1998.
You did.
Right.
Was that Vinny Testaverde?
Yes.
Yeah. Vinny
My father used to say, when's Vinny going to have a Vinny game?
Yeah. Right. That's funny.
And he didn't.
No.
All right.
Till the opening day of 99.
We'll take a quick moment and be back, and we'll close things out nice and calm.
Nice and calm.
Right after this.
1999 when they were predicting.
Oh, up the hill, she says I just can't win for losing. And she lays back down. Man, there's so many times I don't know what I'm doing. Like I don't know now. By the light of the moon, she rubs her eyes.
Rob Thomas, Her Diamonds. There it is. You mentioned that song before.
Yes.
All right, Thursday night, some lives will be changed. It's the NFL draft. Bills are picking where? Like,
those are picking 30th or 31st.
is that even in the first round?
Yes.
It is.
30th.
Okay.
Pick
Pretty
30th.
much.
Yeah.
Pretty,
32 picks.
pretty much going in the second round.
Yeah, everybody's got all their picks this year.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see how the trades work out. And the draft really starts like after the first pick. Everybody knows Cam Ward's going to Tennessee, but people are saying this draft is a little too quiet.
Yeah, why?
Because they're wondering, okay, everybody knows Tennessee's going to take Cam Ward out of Miami. The question is, okay, will the Browns take Shedeur Sanders or will they go defense? And if they go defense, do they go Travis Hunter or do they go Abdul Carter? But that doesn't really change that much. Then the Giants pick. And if the Giants decide to go with either Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter, whomever is left, all right, then it looks like Sanders is going to drop. Now, he could drop to the Raiders and they could take him. He could drop to the Jets, Mark's former team, and they could take him. Or he could drop all the way down to the Steelers at 21 and they could take him. But if you're a Bills fan, you want as many quarterbacks to go in the top 10 as possible because that pushes all the other position players down,
right.
and the net gets bigger for you to get another opportunity. The other thing, though, on the flip side, is if the Browns or the Giants don't take a quarterback early, then maybe they'll trade back into the first round by the end of the night, and there's the Bills sitting there going, hey, we don't really, with all this depth, let's get some more picks. Now you're going to say, well, the Bills already have 10 picks. You can't keep them all. That's not the point. They need a third rounder. Okay. They need more leverage. They need more ability to maneuver in the draft and get better players because Brandon Beane's got a hit on this draft because the last two drafts have sucked. They've sucked. So it's going to be interesting to see how it falls out. But the draft really doesn't start until the second quarterback is taken.
Okay. Where do you think? So you're saying Cam Ward, number 1 overall?
Yes.
Okay.
From Miami.
The
U.
Where will you be watching?
Probably from my house.
Yeah.
I know where I'll be.
Unless we're watching
Where
it
are you
here.
going?
I'll be BTV.
BTV, baby. 50 TVs.
It's a tradition.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun.
It is
a lot of people
fun.
there.
But what sucks is I'll be home by the time the Bills pick.
Well, by the time the Bills pick, it's so late.
It'd be about midnight.
Yeah.
Well, last year we stayed up all night to watch them trade out of the first round.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's doing the halftime show for the Super Bowl has been announced?
Yeah.
It has.
Yeah, saying Carrie Underwood.
Really?
Well, because everybody's been bitching about with her with the guns.
Yeah. Keep going.
They're everybody's been bitching about
Kendrick?
Super Bowl. About Super Bowl band. People have been doing halftime shows.
I thought Kendrick did a really good one. I thought it was the biggest protester right under everybody's nose.
I find them all entertaining, you know.
Yeah.
That's being the music people we are, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I remember saying in 06 when Prince played, I thought that was the best halftime show I'd ever seen. I got made fun of for it. And now it's like considered the consensus best halftime show ever.
Yes.
So
I said it then. I said it then.
I said it then, damn it.
People that made
Listen
fun
to
of
me.
you are now the ones saying that was the best halftime show ever.
Right.
Here comes Carrie.
Blue sky. Is it true that she's not as wholesome as she lets on, like behind the scenes, Mark?
What are you talking about?
I heard she's
what?
I heard that she's a nice person.
She's the real deal? Okay.
That's what I heard.
What do you hear?
The story
what
was
do
that
you hear?
she had a rivalry with Faith Hill or something.
Oh
no.
God.
Was that
that's
true?
gotta
What
be-
happened was
I don't know.
there was no. What happened was the first year that Carrie came out in her first album, she went up against Faith Hill.
Oh.
And they went to after
CMAs, the awards.
After Carrie won the award over Faith Hill, the camera went to Faith Hill, and she was like,
"Oh, ha!"
But she claimed she was kidding.
Oh, maybe.
No,
she might have been.
I remember that reaction, and that was not a kidding.
You know, all of a sudden, this girl from American Idol,
right?
And starts,
Manufactured star.
Hey, look, a manufactured star's in the White House. I mean, what do you want?
Yeah,
I mean,
we're on tour with LBO right now.
Oh, Jameson.
I remember you actually at
Jameson. Put the headphones on for a second, and get in there. Let me see. I'm gonna steal your camera, Mark, just to get him with his chef's hat on or whatever he's got on his head. You always get mad at me.
I got that for Christmas.
Yes. Oh yeah, Danny did get that for you. He loves that thing. So Danny,
trying to get cornrows.
So this is Carrie Underwood singing a Guns N' Roses song. Carrie Underwood came into the radio station.
What?
We're ahead.
Carrie Underwood came into the radio station.
She came to the radio station.
She came to the radio station.
Was it right after Idol?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she was a star.
She was a star.
Oh, she's a star. That's what I'm asking.
She's a star.
This is like 2011.
Yeah. Woo! So Carrie Underwood is this very petite, small, blonde, unassuming. You know, if you didn't know, she's just another pretty little blonde. Seems sort of shy. She was going from radio's country station to country station. I worked at a company that had a country station, so I don't think she played. Did she?
No, she just came
because Sheryl Crow played.
Sheryl Crow played.
She comes in. And she's just in doing a little meet and greet. And they had some winners from the radio station. And I came in with Jameson and we go up and I go, will you sign my baby's forehead? And I hand her a Sharpie. And she goes, seriously? And my wife at the time was like, no. Why do you do that? And but I thought, how cool would it be if Carrie Underwood signed your forehead?
I get it tattooed.
Yeah, right.
I took that Sharpie to the side of Jameson's pretty little forehead. Can't really make it sound like four-wheel drive.
Yes. But that way, yeah. I think she'll do a hell of a halftime show.
Sure she will. And she'll get other artists to come
Have you enjoyed her on Idol?
I have, because it's not it's nice because she was there.
Yeah.
She did it.
Yeah.
None of these other people, same with Kelly Clarkson on when she's on The Voice. They did it. If anybody understands what you're going through and what's happening to them, she does.
Yeah.
And Idol, for the first time, is beating The Voice.
The Voice.
Yep.
Yeah. I watched a little bit of Idol. I mean, I always thought it was well done.
Yeah.
I thought they did a good job.
Has The Voice ever produced a star?
Not that I know of. Well, I mean, the Morgan twins.
Oh, yeah, the Morgan twins. They had 4 chairs turn around. 4 chairs. Isn't that amazing? Oh. I just think that they're so talented. They're so talented that they,
this is a podcast, Mark. Sarcasm. You got to sell the sarcasm.
They're so talented that they get asked to do the national anthem where nobody else wants to do it.
Oh, God. We're trying. I think they're going to come on.
Oh, I better be here then, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it might be a Monday.
I'm going to have to be here.
All right.
I can make it on Mondays.
Well, what we could do is bring you in late as the critic.
No, I want to, when they walk in, what I want to do is I want to say, see, they're nice girls. All you guys have been talking shit about them.
That would be very fun.
Yes.
Who do you think the Bills will take?
You know what? I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's the story. Here's my theory. If there is a stud wide receiver available on the board,
yeah,
and they decide to go corner or defensive tackle, which seems to be the chalk, that's the consensus right now, then I believe that Sean McDermott's the guy running the draft and not Brandon Beane.
Yeah.
I have always believed that you need to take the best player available. I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
And the Bills have gotten into trouble because they like to reach. Oh, this guy's so high on the board. We better jump up and get him. And they've only gotten that right one time. It was Joshua Patrick Allen.
Yeah.
Right. When the rest of us were like, no, that's a horrible idea. Well, guess what? They were right about that. But they were wrong so far about Dalton Kincaid. Maybe you can turn it around. And they were wrong about Kyrie Elam. And they trade up. They also wrong in like the second round for not Cordy Glenn. I'm sorry. Ford.
Cody Ford.
Cody Ford.
Yeah.
Right. So when the Bills tend to reach, they have a problem. So the rest of their players have been okay to solid, but I think they're probably going to go corner or defensive tackle. I really do.
All right. Okay.
So what do you think, Mark?
I think corner. I agree. I think they're going to go corner. And I also agree with you with something. When McDermott got hired, how many coaches bring one of their guys over to become the GM.
Right. It used to be.
It doesn't happen. You know what I mean?
It used to be the owner would hire the
Right.
general manager.
Yeah,
The general manager
Yeah.
hire the head coach.
Right.
General manager looks out for the franchise long term. The head coach looks to today. Well, now in the last 15 years, it's been head coach gets hired and then gets to pick his general manager.
Yeah, but
And that's dangerous.
They were, they worked in Carolina together.
They worked in Carolina, but they were both assistants.
Right.
So they had a relationship. And so what does Brian Dable do when he gets hired away from the Bills and goes to the Giants? Well, I need my general manager. So he brings in Joe Shane, and that has been a disaster.
Right, but for the Bills, I don't think it has been.
It hasn't been a disaster.
No.
They got the quarterback part right.
Yeah.
And by the way, they've had solid drafts.
Yes.
It's like
and I think pretty good movement. I think they've you're right, but they've taken risks that I think the fans have appreciated.
Sal Capaccio and Matthew Beauvais are both Buffalo Bills reporters.
Yeah.
And they took the Bills drafts with Brandon Beane, and then they took Brett Veach's drafts with the Kansas City Chiefs, and they compared them. And the consensus is the Bills drafts have had more, if you're talking in baseball terms, singles and doubles. Not many home runs other than Allen, but singles and doubles. Take the quarterback out of the equation. The Chiefs have had more home runs and more strikeouts. So the question is, do you want a home run in this draft, or do you want more singles and doubles? And to be honest with you, they're not far away from beating the Chiefs. I don't think it's a personnel issue with beating the Chiefs. I think it's a freaking coaching issue with beating the Chiefs. Chiefs are always going to have the better coach.
Oh, my balls hurt. Don't do that. I got kicked in the balls.
By what? Jameson? Were you walking behind him?
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you later.
But the point is, though, is that Josh Allen's on doing a press conference saying, just adds more fuel to the fire. I'm like, how much fuel do you need to win one Super Bowl, man, to get by the Chiefs and when it counts? How much more fuel do you need?
Well, look, the guy played out of his ass in that first attempt, 13-second.
He did.
Unbelievable.
I'm not killing
We're
Allen.
watching the second Peyton Manning. That's what we're watching. He won't win a Super Bowl. Maybe he'll win one or two Super Bowls, but he'll always be in the shadow of Mahomes, just like Peyton was with Brady. In
essence, that could be true.
I mean, Peyton
That could be true.
Peyton didn't win Super Bowls till he was in his 30s, right?
Right. Peyton took a while. The only difference, though, is that Peyton was once people figured out in Peyton's second year that he was the real deal, then he was expected to be that guy. And Brady came out of nowhere, but he had Belichick, who was also a reclamation project. Josh Allen was not supposed to be here.
No.
So it's a kind of
Was
an uneven
Mahomes?
comparison. Mahomes, that's a great point too. Mahomes wasn't either. By the way, I said this in 2017.
I love when Danny goes, I said this, and you effers didn't listen to me.
No.
Oh,
I said this.
In
What
27,
the hell's wrong with you?
I've been substitute teaching.
Yeah.
I was in first grade. Little boy comes up and he just hugs onto my arm, just hugs it and will not let go. So I pretended nothing was going on. And then all of a sudden I move my arm and I lift him up off the ground and he thinks it's the greatest thing in the world. So for the rest of the day,
swinging.
he would run over and do it and he'd be climbing me like a tree. And he wound up kicking me in the balls by accident. And it really hurt right now.
especially when you're backed up.
Well, that could be too. That could be too.
No, what I was saying about Mahomes was, everybody wants to be a draft expert, right? It's a lot of fun. The draft's fun. Guys, go out of their way to become YouTubers and everything else and talk about the draft. And that's cool. I don't have any problems with that. But let's get one thing straight. In 2017, the Bills had the 10th pick, right? And all of a sudden they trade out to 27 and the Chiefs jump in the spot and take Patrick Mahomes. Nobody said a word.
Well, because we didn't know.
Right. But that's my point, though. All of a sudden, everybody's like, everybody knows everything now.
Yeah.
If you knew, why didn't you know that? Because this guy ended up becoming one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, but nobody said a word. Why? Because nobody watched Patrick Mahomes. Why? Because he played at Texas Tech and they weren't a stud team. Andy Reid and Sean Payton, he claims, saw something in this kid and they traded up to get him. All the other draft picks were pretty quiet, and everybody in Bills Mafia who was critiquing the draft, all of them were so sure that Josh Allen was a horrible pick. Well, the year before, they weren't like, the Bills should have stuck around and drafted Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
They didn't say that.
Right.
And that's my point. Because because we were so wrong about that. We were so wrong about Josh Allen that no Bills fan should ever open their freaking mouth about the NFL draft again. And if you want me to go one step further,
Look right in that camera and go one step
further. For every jackwagon who said that the Buffalo Sabres needed to tank for Sam Reinhart, then Connor McDavid or Jack Eichel. Hey, how's that working out now?
And
Jack Eichel had a
Do you
pretty good
realize
season
that
with
the
the Golden.
flagship station in Buffalo got the two biggest,
Here he
picks
goes.
in each franchise's history wrong, and they all still have jobs.
Yes, they do. All right. But half of it's just the fun, Dan.
It
It's just
is.
fun.
Does it look like he's having fun?
No, I think that's why I'm ending it. His blood pressure is going to go up. That's all. I don't want you to hurt yourself.
But am I right, Mark?
You're
Yeah, I admit,
can't disagree with
I was
him.
wrong about Josh Allen. So was 99% of
Who
Bill's
wasn't?
Mafia.
Everybody was wrong.
We were all wrong.
And by the way, when someone says you could have had Mahomes, I go, I don't want Mahomes.
I would rather Josh.
Absolutely.
I don't know why.
Yeah,
I
I'd rather
feel
have
like Josh is got. I think he's not been as injured as Patrick throughout his career,
I think, yeah,
or he's played through the
If he
injuries
played-
better than Patrick.
I'd rather keep Josh Allen.
If he played in Kansas City, he'd be winning the Super Bowls too. So.
Yes, I agree.
All right, for the Soldier coming in, looking for a new
what
night.
up?
I think we do that. For
All right.
Dan the Man, I love the passion that comes out of you, Danny. I'm Bill Moran. We'll see you tomorrow.
She was shivering in the dark while I offered her a ride. 3 bangs out later, 4 cars had wide.